Hello, Edward.
How's it going, Catherine?
Pretty good. Thank you for coming in and meeting with me.
Anytime. Thanks for having me.
Anytime. So I just wanted to talk to you because we're coming closer to the end of high school about your plans for after graduation.
Yeah.
Have you given any thought about it?
I've been thinking about it somewhat. I wanted to go to a trade school to further my education on carpentry. Also, if that doesn't work out, I wanted to go into the Marines. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any ideas? Like, have you looked into any programs?
Not yet. No, not really. I heard about some schooling with Brookdale, and I believe Monmouth has a program as well, but other than that, not really.
That's totally fine. We can look up these resources together. You said Brookdale, which is great because they do actually have a trade school degree. It's an AAS degree. And that is where you're going to take a few core classes, but essentially you're going to learn everything you need to know about your trade. So as soon as you graduate, you go right into the workforce.
Wow.
And then if you start carpentry,
Mm-hmm.
and you decide, you know what, maybe I'd like to go into the Marines. I'm not really, that interested in carpentry right now. It's totally acceptable and possible for you to go into the Marines and then come back and continue that education.
Wow.
There are several students at Brookdale who started it. They took maybe 2 classes. We have one student who served in Germany, who served in Iraq, and then he came back and said, now I'm ready. I was not ready before.
Oh.
So you don't have to feel, the pressures of deciding, right now, this is what I'm doing for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
But it is good to...
It's stressful.
Yeah. How are you coping with the stress?
Fairly well. Just getting my mind off is basically the hardest part. I normally just listen to music and go for a walk. So yeah. Gets my mind off of it and eases my mind. So.
Alright. So what you're saying is you just like to, relax, get into your own zone, listen to music.
Yeah.
That's a good stress relief.
It is. I like it. It finds my inner self, basically, is what I can say.
That's fantastic, because a lot of students have a lot of stress in their life and they don't know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
So that speaks a lot to your self-awareness, and that's awesome. So, we talked about the AAS degree, which is at Brookdale. And you also said you were thinking of the Marines?
Yeah.
Is there any reason the Marines, or is it...
I just want to serve my country just so I can provide a better place for everyone here. I always wanted to serve my country to make a better place, to give freedom to people that don't have it, you can say, or I don't know how to put it, but basically to make this country free, give all the freedom to what we have, and granted, some people do take it for granted, but it's not about that. It's about caring and just looking after others.
It seems like you got a good head on your shoulders and a good heart in your chest.
I try.
Well, I know that you still got some time before you graduate, but I'm glad you came in and we at least have some kind of path. Now, if you want, I can send you some information about that carpentry path at Brookdale.
That's right.
AAS.
AAS.
And I can send you some information about that program just so you can look at it. Maybe you're like, that's not at all what I want. Then we can work with something else, but at least it'll get you thinking. We can also talk to how are you? This is my counseling dog.
Oh, yeah.
All right, you're not part of this counseling session. I will send you some information about the AAS degree at Brookdale, and maybe I can set you up with some kind of like informational packet from the Marines, because I know there's tons of recruiters out there.
Yeah, I was actually talking to. I have his card in my wallet. I believe it's Sergeant Pedro V. Roman. So I've been talking to him for a little bit. Met him. I met him at my school at Monmouth. And he actually saw me when I was on break for my work at mall, and he came up to me, remembered me because he remembers me from the story I told him about how I try to take care of my family and everything like this, and it really hit home for him because he was a family of like 6, 7 with like a single father, so he knows how it was. So he remembered me. He came up to me, greeted me by name. I was like, wow, like this is like how I want to be.
Yeah.
Like just by that, just sent me over the top of like I do want to join the Marines. I really want to look forward to it.
So that really gave you the sense of this feels right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you have a contact and he remembers you, which is great. So we have a Marine contact, which I'm sure if you had any, pressing questions or if you just wanted to know more about the process, I'm sure you can send him a phone call or even go to the address he has on this card. And that combined with the information I'll send you later, you can take it, read it whenever you have the time, mull it over. Maybe between now and the next time we meet, you'll have a better idea of, you know what, I'm just going straight for the Marines. Or maybe you're like, you know what, I'm going to focus on carpentry and maybe I can do something specific in the Marines with carpentry.
Yeah, because he was saying that they do have like certain, like they need people to, because when they go out, they need to have huts, they need to have like barracks out there and everything like that, so they need someone to build them, and a carpenter would be the perfect thing for that. So I was thinking about even doing both, about being in the Marines and being a carpenter at the same time.
And that's totally doable.
Yeah.
Seems like you have a pretty solid idea of where you want to go.
Yeah, I try. I try to think ahead before I just make a decision.
That's very good.
Yeah.
Definitely, especially joining the Marines, that's something you need to think through long term.
It's your life. You're putting your life on the line for this country. And that's the most stressful part for me. Is having to leave my family, to leave everything just behind and going out to like Iraq or Germany or somewhere and putting my life on the line for our country. It's pretty stressful, but.
And I'm sure it's just as stressful for your family thinking, oh my gosh, Edward's going who knows where. And
another thing that I always look forward to is, if I do go into the Marines and I do get shipped out, is being able to come home and surprise my family. Like, not even tell them I'm coming home, just show up at their door and just get it all on camera and those heartwarming videos.
I cry every time I see those videos.
I do too. To be honest, I do too. Even thinking about it makes me tear. But, like, that's what I wanted to do ever since I was, 10, maybe younger. Is to be able to serve the country. To give freedom.
Well, it sounds like you'd make a perfect candidate for that position. And I think we have a pretty solid start.
I think so too.
So how about we meet up again, maybe in a few weeks? Or, a couple of months, depending on your schedule. And we can talk about what you think of the resources I'm going to send you. And we can take it from there.
That sounds good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
For coming in and talking.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course. And if you need anything or have any questions, you can give me a call.
All right, will do.